Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
See guys, this is the screen I wanted to show you. In this screen, when you look at it, you have all those fields. You have the location name, which is a required field. While we were creating the location, do you remember? Location name and location type, basically the usage was required. And type the location name, any location name in that. No, there you see location name. There is the location name field. Column G, column, sorry, and it says required. We are only going to put the required values. We'll not put anything else. Type any location that you want and then put the usage. Type in business site or anything, whatever you feel like, and save this file. I'll only put one value, location type, and the column B also looks like manager A. Which column B? Column. Spreadsheet key. It is not required for us now. When you import the values from a third party, then only it becomes required. Now it is not required. What I'm trying to say is when you are getting the value from a third party, you know someone will send the data that you need to insert. There, you need that key because the data will come from their side. We need that key. They will let us know what the key is for. I'm sorry, I could not hear you. Well, that is for our IP. This is inbound. Inbound means we are inserting data into Workday. For that, we don't require that. I'm sorry, we don't require that now. Now it is not required. But when in the real-time system, when you will be inserting it in that time, you will. Because that key is something which will help you to identify that it is coming from a third party. And another thing is see if we are manually doing it. Now we are getting the file. Just imagine that a third party has sent you the file. In that case, you don't need it. But when it is automated, for example, from any web service like SFTP, there that becomes required. That means if the Excel sheet has been sent to us and we have to do it, then it's not required. No, not required. The backend job, then it is required. They should know where exactly they have to enter the data. That is the key. This value is not there. Now what you have to do, wherever you have stored it, you should remember. Now what you do is go back to the integration. Here only, the integration, the Workday integration. Go back. Search this integration. Once again, search this integration. No, don't do that. Search it. Now we are going to launch this integration. We have our file that we need to insert the data. Click on that. Click on Actions. Here also you can click on Actions there itself. and then you have an option which says integration, this one, integration. Launch it. Can I run it? Yes, please run it. Now, here it is asking to put the attachment. Integration attachment specify value. Click on that and create that attachment here. No, where you see the value, the next column, this one. Next column, not the row column. Last one, last, this one. No. After village, I read one column is there. There is. Above unlimited, you see another field. Click on that. Click on option which says create integration attachment. Click on select files and then get that file. Put location 1. Just double click. Go ahead and click on. See, it got uploaded. Now it is ready to be inserted. Scroll it down. The next option that you see here, it says load error limit. In case the data which we are receiving it is not as what we are expected, it means the location name is not correctly put in and the usage is also not matching with the options that we have. Then it will start throwing the error. Or, for example, if they're putting something else, the data type is something else again, that will throw that error. That's the reason we are capturing the error. You see that? And then you have an option which says validate only load. And validate only load means when we do the data loading, what we will do, the file which has come, we will only test it. Test in the sense that we will not insert the data, but there is an option. It says validate only load. If you see this box, you have the checkbox after specify value. If you click that and then run the integration, then it will not insert the value, it will only run it, but it will still tell you that data has been uploaded successfully. If there is an error, then you will get the error then and there and you will send that file back specifying that these are the errors. Please fix and reset. This is a way by which you can test the data which has come. There is another option that says add error to attachment. In case there is an error, you want to attach it in that same file, you have to check that box and then you can go ahead and click on. But we will not validate it. We know that we have only one data. We will insert it. Now go ahead and click on. The integration will run and it will insert the data. We will not get any output file this time, guys. Refresh it. There's hardly one data. It got completed in 11 seconds. Scroll it down. Now you see response, message record success, all records loaded successfully. Scroll up. This is the message I wanted to show you. There you say success. This is how your inbound integration works, guys. Does it make sense? I hope all of you are clear. When we talk about core connector, it is also called as template-based integration. Guys, or you call it as template-based connector. Now, why we call it as a template-based connector? The reason is there is already the templates given by Workday, and we can use those templates as per our requirement. I'll start with the task. The task is create integration system. It is not going to be create EIP or create core connector. It is like create integration system. Everything is there in that notes. If you don't want to write it, that is also fine. Here, you now have the system name. Let's say I'll type in something like Waddle underscore core connector underscore. There is a template which is called as core connector worker. If I have to send worker data to a third party for maybe payroll processing or anything, I need the data from worker. Core connector worker is a template. It gives all the data of worker. Whatever you want, you can choose it from there. And it is all up to you what you want to select. Not necessary that you have to send everything, only the things which are required. If you search it here, you will get that template. And this is the one core connector worker, not the global worker. And go ahead and click on. As soon as you will click on, you will see there are certain services that will automatically come. You see integration services 28. Out of that, there are few which will be automatically enabled. What are those? The initialization, worker ESP service, initial service to invoke. Now you see this is enabled and it is also checked. If you scroll it, you see there are multiple things which is automatically enabled here. You cannot remove them. Now, these are services which help you to configure these integrations that I will help you to understand. But you see there are 28 services. Out of that, you want to use all. You can check this, but not necessary that you should use all. We will only use those which is required. Now you have this option which says Worker Data Initialization Service. That is fine. Exception logs, performance logs. This will automatically be enabled. I don't need to even enable that. What my area would be that how I can go ahead and get that data. That is where my option will come. Now you see worker integration document retention. That is fine. Now from here the data starts worker profile photo. Do you want to send the profile photo? If you want, you can check this. You want the personal data section. You want the status data, position data, count data. Let's say if you have contractual employees, then I can send it. Now it says leave of absence, which means how many leaves that person has taken from what date to what date. All that data will be here. Then you have the compensation data. I want to send that also. Identification data. This is also your personal information. And then you see worker related personal data. If you want to send that, qualification. This is your educational, all those details. Transaction log, that may be not required. I'm not going to set that. Now, as soon as I'll click on guys, I'll get an error. Now, why I will get an error? The reason is it will say that you have enabled the services. You see, I'm getting an error. You see there are integration attribute enabled for the integration system, but you have not assigned a value. Please use the related. It is asking me to configure this integration. If I don't configure it, the integration will not work. Out of 28, I have enabled 18, and then by default, there are few which will automatically get enabled. Now the next part is I have to configure the integration attributes. I'll click on Actions, then Integration System, then this option, Configure Integration Attribute. Here, what I have to do, I have to go ahead and put the version and the file name. That what file I have to put in. I just have to put the tag. When I click on this plus sign, I'll get this box. I'll put here as output document. And then I'll scroll it down. It says version. Now this version is of core connector that we are using. And by default, the version should be 34. That is the highest version available up till now. And we should always choose the latest one. You see 34 is the highest one. After that, there has been no upgrades up till now. I'm going to choose 34. And the output format, as I stated, it is always going to be XML. You see, I cannot change it. Rest, everything is already done. I mean, I don't have to do much here. I'll go ahead and click on. See, that error is not there anymore. I don't have that error anymore here. The next part is my integration attributes have been enabled, which means I have put the file name that. What file I have to take as an output. Second, I have put the version because putting the version is very much required. If I don't put the version, it will not choose it automatically and it will start giving me the error. Choosing version is very important. Then what fields do I require? What field do I require in my integration? I'm trying to get the data. I'm going to pull the information. What information I need in this integration system that I can send it. For that, you have this option which says Configure Integration Field Attributes. Now you will see all that sections that we have enabled worker data sections, personal data, qualification data, personal data, status data, position data, contract, leave of absence, compensation, every detail is available. Profile photo is also available. In this profile photo, you have two fields. Now, what are these two fields? File name and the image. Do you want to send this? I will not because that file will be very heavy. I'll not do that. I'll go to the personal data section. In this, there should be 70 plus fields. Yes, there is 74 fields that you can get the data from. I can say I need the name. And I'll not use this first name, last name, or something like that. I will use formatted name. It becomes easy for me to get that. And then what? This is better. For legal name, that is what is generally used everywhere. Then I need the gender, date of birth, country of birth not required, city, marital status not required, religion, disability not required, ethnicity not required. As I stated, there are 74 fields. If you want, you can put all those fields also, but why do we need much of data? The more data you have in your file, it will make the file more heavy. I don't want that. I only want what is required. From personal data, I think that is enough. I don't need anything else. I don't need any phone number or anything for that. Then I'll go to the status data. From status data, do I need anything? Yes, I need this status, employee status. Then, of course, it should be an active employee. Otherwise, why would I need that? But I need the hire date. That is enough. And see, all these fields are there. Hire reason why you got terminated, terminated date, or something like that. I don't need all this data. I'll need only the position data now. Position. This is basically your title. For example, what is your business title? Business title is basically your designation. Always remember, the business title is your designation. Let me remove it. Worker type, permanent or contractual, that we will know. All this information is here. If you want to use them, you can. If you don't want to, just leave it. Not necessary that you have to use it. You want to use job profile, you can. You see, I have much of information. And if I have to go all these places, I want to go ahead and get the data I can. But why would I need much of data? I don't need them. I will not select many fields in my output. I'll just require only those 2 fields, 5 fields, 10 fields, not more than that. And I'm going ahead and clicking on. The next part is I will just click on done. My configuration of core connector is basically complete. But how to add? You know conditions in this. At what kind of employee data that I'm looking for. I am looking, like active employees or, any specific employee. All those things I can add. I am showing you now how you can add the conditions. I'll go back to the core connector. There you go. I'll click on Actions. Go to Integration System again, and then you see this option Configure Integration Field Override. It basically what it does, it gives me an option to add the condition. See, it tells you eligibility criteria. It says, used to determine whether the worker is eligible for the inclusion in the integration output. The field should return a Boolean value. I'll say is active or active should be true. I'm only getting the data for active employees. I will not get the data for retired or terminated people. Now, if you want to run the integration, it is absolutely fine. There is no problem. My core connector is ready to run. If I want to launch it, it will work. There is no problem. But the fact is, if you have to send the data, where will you send it? That also is a concern. Here, how the connection is built, that is done through endpoint. You cannot go ahead and just, add FTP or something. For that, you have a subscription. In this one, you go to the integration system. I think it got clicked somewhere. I'll go back to actions to cancel basically. There's an option which says edit subscription. You see this option, edit subscription. When you click on it, it will ask you where do you want to send the data. See users API version, users API version. This is your Workday API 39. You remember, where did you see this? Yes, in reports, advanced report. And then you have notification URL that where you want to send the data, username and password. Now, this is for your third party because you are going to send the data to them. They will have to give you all this information and you have to fill it here. And then you get this information launch integration. Once that is done, you can go ahead and launch the integration because we don't have a third party. I will launch it and I'll show you the file. The output here is going to come in XML. It will be a pure XML file. I'll click on Actions and then I'll go to the integration system and then launch it. See, you still have an option to schedule it. You know the way you want to custom scheduling, and I'll go ahead and click on. Now here you are getting more options. You see it's asking you are launching it. What date you want to specify? You want to specify a date you can, time you can, or you want to get it for specific workers. You can specify the worker name also. You want to get it only for some supervisory organization or a company call center or any organization or its subordinate. You can specify that also, but this tenant does not have much of data. What I'll do, I'll just go ahead and say I need the full file. Then I'll go ahead and click on. It will take time. It will not come instantly because this is a very heavy integration. It is not something that it will happen in seconds. It will take at least few minutes. And we'll start getting the output files. It is not that you will get only one file, you will get files in zip folder. But depends upon the data in the system, how much data is there. It may take up to 1 minute, 2 minutes. Oh, we got 3 files. See, we got zip file. But what was the output file that we have, which is output document? This is my document. You see, this is my data which has come. We don't have much of data available in the system. The fields which I have chosen, it does not have much of data. And that's the reason it is coming in this way. If I want this, this has come in Word. No problem, I will open it in XML. Three files got downloaded. No problem. You see, all this information is what I was looking for. This is going to come in this way. This is my XML format. Are you getting the point? Yes, no. This format is basically used for any kind of transportation of data. This is my .exe file. This is also in XML format. Now, if the vendor is fine to get this file, then there is no problem at all. Your work is done. If the vendor is not fine and they will say, no, I need a file in a different format, then there is a place where you need to go ahead and do a coding also. Workday provides that part also. Let me open the sheet. This is a document which I've shared it with you. Let me walk you through. It says first step is process of building a core connector. What did we do? We had integration system. Then we put the name of the file and everything. we selected the core connector worker, select the services, then what? If you have selected the services, then the fact is you will get an error and you have to configure the integration attribute. In the integration attribute, we selected the version and the document. Then what did we do? We went into the integration attribute field. Whatever field we wanted, we have put it in our XML file. Then we have put the criteria that what field, what data you need in that file. Only that data will come. The next part is connect the integration with external system. Now, if your vendor is fine with the XML data that you have extracted, then there is no problem. You can send that file. But let's say your system the vendor system is very old. They are not using the latest system. They are saying that no, I need the data in a specific format, maybe Excel or PDF or text or maybe anything. If they need it in that format, then we will have to do the transformation as we have did it in EIB. You remember there was a step for transformation in EIB. That place Workday did it by itself because it was a custom report or a web service. Here we have built the integration. We will have to build the integration transformation as well. And this is the place where the code come into picture. Here, anybody who wants to learn coding, they have to get into this area which is called XSLT. Guys, what happened? Which means I have to write a transformation, and to transform any XN document, I need the coding language is XLT. And that is the minimum requirement that I have. What is transforming this term? What did we do in EI? How did we what? What did we do in the transformation there? We used a report. And what did I say? That if I have to send the data to a third party, this requires transformation. And what did the transformation do? It converted the file in the XML format that it can be transmitted through web services. Now here I'm getting the output file as XML. You saw the XML file which I've shown you earlier. This ML is not accepted by the vendor. The vendor whom I am sending the data, they say that I need the data in Excel or CSV or PDF or text. My systems do not understand XML. If that is the scenario now, there is no such scenario. Everybody is accepting XL. Even Indian government income tax portal is now also accepting XML only. XML is a global format. If there is any vendor who says that they are not accepting XML, then in that case only we write the code. Otherwise, it is not required. We can just send the same file, whatever the output is. I can just send the same profile to them and my work is done. But this is an additional knowledge that in case someone says that I want to build that transformation, then what I have to do, there are additional 2 steps that how do you build a document transformation and then how do you add that code in the transformation. These are the 2 things that is required. Let me quickly show it to you. And I also have sent you a code, a sample code. You see this sample code also in that document. Now this is SLT. This XLT, what it is doing is it is converting. You see this output method is equal to PDF. Whenever this code will run, this will convert the data into a PDF format. Or if I want to put it in text, I just have to change the format as text. Or I want to put it in CSV. I'll do that. Basically, this is the place where output method is chosen. It's asking that it is going into worker and what data is put, it is pulling name underscore data. This is the way how it is mentioned in the XML file. I'm putting the first name, last name, gender, birth date, job profile, compensation grade. This is what I have pulled out of that XML file. I'm only pulling these things which is required for me. I don't need everything. If you have to write this, you need to learn XSLT and XSLT. I've shown you that you can go into Free School Scum and from there you can easily learn. Just for your understanding. Even if you don't want to learn it, it is fine. It is absolutely. Now I'll have to create another core connector, guys. Why I have to create another core connector to put that document transformation? That is also an A integration system only. Let me quickly do it. What was the task? To create the integration system. Creating the system. That's a task. And I'll put DT. DT stands for document transformation. I'll not put anything else. And in this, I will have to find that template. For document transformation, Workday has given its own template. See document transformation. And I'll go ahead and choose this template. It has very limited services, only 4. You see it has 4 services and it is again giving me the error and alert that you have not configured it. Integration system is using a document attachment service. You have to configure and then put all this information which is required. Again, how do you configure it? Click on Actions. Then where do we go? Integration system. There are 2 things we have to configure. One is configure integration attachment. Now why I'm putting this attachment? Because I'll have to put my code here. Document attachment service. What does it mean? I'll have to put the code here. A create integration attachment service and then I have to put my code. There will be a code auto. It's already there. Let me just find it. It's taking 7. I'll use it. This is my sample that is already there in the system. I'm using it. Otherwise, I will use the same option, create integration attachment, and now I will have to configure the integration attribute. Why I have to configure the integration attribute? The reason is the output which is going to come from this integration. This output will become the input for this. Then this code will run and convert that data. See input document tag, output document tag. I have to put the input document tag in this. Now why I have to put the input document? The reason is the output of the main core connector worker will become the input for this. The output here is coming in XML format. I have to run that code on this file. Then only it will convert the data. Here, I am putting then that input because for this transformation, this output will become the input and I have added that document here. And once I have added it, the next step is to put this document transformation into this particular core connector. How can I do that? I'll go back into the core connector. It will not go from here. I'll have to search it again. I am into this core connector. Now the next part is I'll click on Actions. What I have to do now, I have to go into the business process Y. I have to link this document transformation. I'll use none of the above. Click on and add a step in the integration. See, there are multiple options. I've shown you. See what I have to do. I have to add integration and I have to click on. It will again throw an error. It will tell me that I have put integration, but I did not configure it. You see that error. Invalid integration steps. I put the configuration, but you have not done it. What I'll do, I'll scroll it down. I'll click on configure integration, and then I have to find that. See this document transformation. I'll click on. If you need it, then only it is required, otherwise it is not. It depends upon your vendor. That is fine. If they are not, then it is. If they just need XML file, then the first part itself is complete. We don't need to do that. What was that step? Process of building the document transformation. What did we do? We created an integration system. Selected the document transformation template. Then we configured the integration attachment. Whatever the attachment is, whether you want to put a new attachment, then put your XSLT. You have to write the code. If you have completed that step, then you have to go into and configure the integration attribute. You have to put the input document tag as output document and then assign the document transformation to the core connector. Why it is required? It is required because once your integration starts running, when the data starts fetching and it starts coming into as an XML in that document, this business process will fire and this business process will bring your XSLT code to transform that data. That is what we did. We went into the core connector, created none of the above, added the option and click on. And then we have to add that transformation and run the integration. My addition has been completed here. It's all done. What I have to do, I have to go back to the core connector and then run it. That is all I have to do. My core connector is complete. It will take time because this is transformation. It will take its own sweet time. We would not know how much time will it take. Generally what happens, you will get a notification here that this process has been completed. Load. Run now and then you have to get the file. Here we did not have much of data. It will take some only less time. But even if it is not there, don't worry, because it is only for those people who are really interested in doing coding. But this is my responsibility that you should at least know how it works. I have shown it to you. Nowadays, this transformation is minimal. In fact, no one does it, to be very honest with you. Because everyone is using XML. This is only for those vendors who are not using XML. It will take some time. You know it has just initiated. It will take some time and it will let us know. This is all about the core connector, guys. I don't have anything more to add, and now our course stands completed. We have completed all the topics, whatever we had discussed. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.